Hello everyone, this is Anna Wheaton from Nudge Nudge Ink Ink. This is one of the projects that we made at our charity day recently, and it uses the Humble Home stamp set and punch, which was the focus for all our projects for the day. The charity day that we ran earlier in the year had a framed piece and people really liked a 3D item, so that's why we also created this one this time round. So this is a little creation using an embroidery hoop which I got from Amazon, and it's a 3.5 inch embroidery hoop, and it came in a pack of 10 or 12, I think. They're pretty cheap, they're less than $2 each. And we used StazOn Saddle Brown ink to stain it. Now, this may look as though it's red, but that's been washed. Little tip, you can throw your daubers into a wash bag, you know, a zip-up net wash bag, and you can send it through your washing machine, and you can wash them ready for any color. So I hope, in having said that, that this doesn't end up putting red on this hoop. So this is the StazOn in a saddle brown color. We're used to StazOn in the black, but this is a nice brown color which stains the wood really well. And what you want to do is get in there and stain. Sorry, I'm just going to get some paper from underneath. I didn't really plan ahead. Stain both sides and the inside. We did try this with some early espresso ink, and it doesn't work as well as the StazOn. It sort of looked grubby and dirty and patchy, whereas this goes on more like a stain, like a liquid stain. You also want to get the inside there. So you move your hoop around. Now, you notice I used an old dauber, and you'll see why, because this does give the dauber a run for its money, and it gets quite tatty. So see, it's starting to fray a bit there. Then there's this little piece here also that you want to stain, which I find it's easier to do. One of the customers had a cotton bud in her kit, and we used that because it was just a little bit easier than undoing the embroidery hoop. We're not actually putting anything into the embroidery hoop that you need to separate it for. And it's a bit fiddly to get back together. So there we go. All right, and you have, looks like you've been smoking. Okay, that's step one. Then we're going to pull in a little bit of Night of Navy. This is our background, and put the hoop on there, and then grab a pencil, and we're going to trace around it, around the outside. Up the top here, you get a little bit off track because you've got the metal, but you get the idea of a circle there, which is probably pretty hard to see. Oh no, there you go, it shows up in the light. And then you're going to cut that out. Always with cutting, it's easier to move the paper than the scissors. So see how I'm rotating the Night of Navy? Now, some people will say, isn't there a die for this? I even have non-Stampin' Up! Circle dies collected over the years, and none were the right size. A little bit small or a little bit big. You might have better luck if you get a slightly different sized embroidery hoop. Then we have the tree, and that is cut from the Peaceful Evergreens die. These dies have 3 trees, 3 size, and we used this smallest one. I was going to say middle there, but it's clearly not the middle sized. Little, just a little bit to pop out there. Now, you don't need to cover this in glue, so some people are a bit heavy-handed with their Tombow, and then they don't like it because it's messy. It does stay sticky if it's exposed. So you don't want too much going out the side there. But we do want some coming out. I'm just going to poke this with the old bent paper clip, which I always have handy. Oh, there we go. Tiny little bit. So I'm just putting some dots in the largest parts of the tree. Doesn't even have to go through to the tips of the branches. And stick that in place. Next, I've run some basic white through the Snowflake Sky Embossing Folder, which has very dense snowflakes down the bottom and then lighter, so falling from the sky. That's it there. And what I'm going to do is grab a pair of scissors that have long blades, and I'm going to do a little bit of cutting of my hillside. So long blade scissors are good because you can get a real sort of a sweep with your scissors and a nice gentle curve without having to open your scissors again and again. And that's, you can see there, I can shift the orientation of that to suit how I want it to be. And of course, I've got this side I could use too if I'm not happy. All right, get that glue back in. I'm going to add that. And stick that in place. I've brought my scrap back in because I know I've got glue hanging over the edge, and I just don't want it on my work surface. Okay, then I'm flipping this over so that I have the edge of my blue to work around. Okay, there's my background. Okay, now I want to attach that to my embroidery hoop. So I don't know why I turned that over. It's exactly the same way, same front and back. But anyway, I'm going to add Tombow here, all the way around. And again, not too heavy. Don't want it squelching out the side. And lay that down in place. Okay, I'm going to shift that to the side and put something heavy on it. Didn't plan for that, did I? I found a jar, putting that in place. Okay, now we want to make the little house. So in the stamp set, there is the gingerbread house, but then there's also the brick and the roof, and then the door and windows. So we grab some scrap, and I want early espresso and cherry cobbler. And I can stamp my roof, out of view, early espresso there, and then my doors and windows. Now you can see my ink pads need a little bit of re-inking, but I didn't mind the sort of patchiness for this house. I thought it made it look a little older, particularly for the bricks. I didn't really want the bricks to be super inky. So see how that's got a bit of gradation. All right, punch. So line this up. punch out my roof, punch out my house, which will just automatically have roof as part of it, and see how that's coming together. And then let's cut those bits away. Now you're going to have to fussy cut the door, but look, this is kind of cool because this square punches out that window perfectly. There it is. And the other one. Perfectly. And then my little door. This time I'm going for the small scissors. There we go. So I'll have all my house bits and pieces. Just get rid of my scrap. And then I also need to trim away. See, that wants to sit on there. So all I want is the roof. So I'm just going to snip up here. And up here. Like so. And that's going to go there. So let's grab the glue that I was using just moments ago. Always happens. I put it down and I forget where it's gone. Now, if you were a careful worker, of course, you could attach those with dimensionals too to lift them up a little bit. We're just sticking with the green glue for our little house. And then when you've got a little piece, I find it easier just to put the glue on where you want it to go rather than try and handle the little piece. Like so. Let's get them even. Cute, 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 cute. And then on the house, there's this gorgeous little tiny wreath here that you can color. And the wreath, there is nothing to cut it out with. You have to fussy cut. So I've already colored that with some blends, cherry cobbler and shaded spruce blends to create my house. Okay, let's get our little embroidery hoop back in. Now, this is where you can also check now, oh, I've done a pretty good job, whether there's any overhang out here. So you can virtually just chop along. There's not much to chop off. Any overhang, most of it's up the top here. Like so. Okay, so I want to attach my house. Grab some dimensionals. I'm sure someone breaks into my house and steals my take your pick tool on a regular basis. Then they bring it back. I think they borrow it, use it for a few days, then they bring it back and hide it under something, which I then discover. Must be how it goes. There he is, little house. And then we have white loose snowflakes. So, so these are tiny and scattery. We're going to put a couple in the sky. So here's another example where I would just put a little dot rather than trying to put glue on the snowflake. And they're sort of, they're slightly rubbery. They're not hard plastic. They're rather interesting. I'm going to get a tiny one. Put that in place. And you can see how that's coming together. And then down the bottom here, we've got some snowflakes. Now I've put some of them on the curve of the hoop and some of them as part of the snowflake scene. So again, some dots. That we can attach the glue to. I just said attach the glue to. Attach the snowflakes to. Tiny. And then some here. I find that even when you put the what you think is far apart for the snowflakes with your glue, I always find I put it too close together. So instead of 3 dots for 3 snowflakes, they get covered by 1. Although I'm not doing too badly here actually. Oh, there we go. Like so. So see, it's just a little touch of snowflakes there in the bottom. I'll clean up all those loose ones later. Then the last detail, this bird is from a retired set of dies. So we didn't use that, but the theory was, you can see that that bird is out of proportion with all of this. If you put it in the scene, you've got this massive great bird either on the house or under the tree that's just too big for the scene. So what we did was we put it on the edge of the hoop. So this is the one from, this bird is from Deck the Halls. It's a little cardinal, little cutie. So I've colored it red and then I've given it an orange beak. And we'll get a mini glue dot for that. That did nothing. Try again. We'll get a mini glue dot for that. Yes. Oh no. Yes. Come on, little cardinal. You're making me look bad. And then you can decide where you might like to put that. I don't want to put it there because it's going to be a direct mirror of where the snowflakes are. So I might put it up there. Okay. Then you can attach that which I did not bring, some linen thread, or you might like to just go straight and add a piece of ribbon there, plus a bow, to finish it off. So there you have it. Really easy to make, and yet it would be a beautiful gift or a beautiful ornament to hang from your tree. So I hope that's been some inspiration for you. And I'll just point out to you that roof and door, that's pecan pie. So you can see the difference. Early espresso, pecan pie. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope that's helpful. Bye.